Marriage is always a holy union. Some of us sometimes try to defile that holy union, which is a sin, a gross sin. So, when there is marriage, there is the question of separation as well. Because not everybody can live on with the same partner for the rest of their lives. So what should we do? What should anybody do for that matter? Is it right for any individual to divorce his or her partner? The answer is very simple. That's not ideal. But still, if it is at all very urgent, very important, very necessary for the survival of one, then divorce is the only solution. Okay, today in this video session, in the first half, I shall tell you what our Lord Jesus the Christ has said about divorce and remarriage. And in the second half of the video, I shall discuss the general view of common people on divorce and remarriage, especially the modern people. All right? Because we know Jesus lived 2,000 odd years ago, so now a lot of changes have been brought about in the social pattern. But what Jesus said so many years ago holds valid till death. He was very practical. Our Lord Jesus the Christ was very, very practical. He has said nothing impractical. See how practical he was. He allowed the people who would not be able to restrain their lusts to marry. Whereas he clearly said that those of you who can remain unmarried, especially advised the unmarried and the widows to remain unmarried. If, there was a clause, if you can hold your lust in check. There are some people, these days we see, in the past also there were people who in fact did not marry, but they could not restrain their lustfulness. And as a result, they indulged in sexual immoralities. Well, when it comes to marriage, I have already told you that marriage is a holy union. Why? Because there goes a saying, marriages are made in heaven. Something made in heaven is obviously very sacred, very holy. And so any attempt at setting that union asunder is nothing short of a sin. S-I-N, sin. Yes. That is blasphemous, that is sacrilegious. Because the union is made by God. So we human beings have no right to destroy that union, whatever be the reason for it. Well, there are people who talk of incompatibility. They say that if the partners are not compatible, then it is very difficult to live on with that partner for the rest of the life. And that is perhaps the mystery of marriage. Marriage till death is shrouded in mystery. Think only how marriage takes place. You do not know who is going to be your spouse in the future. Maybe the girl next door, or someone who lives a few thousand miles away from your house may become your wife or your husband. So it is absolutely mysterious. And the nature of marriage makes it clear to everybody that marriage has something to do with some invisible force. Some people sometimes compare marriage to a lottery. You purchase a lottery ticket, but you do not know whether you are going to win any prize. May not be the first one, but at least some consolation prize. Marriage is somewhat like that. You marry an individual of whom you have no idea, and you commit to live for the rest of your life with that individual. And in every religion, there are certain religious rituals which are performed to unite two souls together in marriage. Till death do us part. Yes. So you are supposed to live with your spouse till your death. So our Lord has said that if you marry and then divorce a lady, divorce your wife, she is forced to live a very unfair life, unholy life. Why? Because 2,000 years ago, there are not the jobs were not plentifully available for women. So if the husband divorced the wife had to opt for prostitution in order to earn a livelihood. Or she would have to marry somebody else and go to bed with that person. Now, the husband who divorces the wife forces that wife to commit adultery. Going to bed with another person when your husband is alive is obviously an example of adultery. And you, the husband, you are responsible for this. You have divorced your wife, and your wife has to survive. And in order to survive, she has to marry again, or she has to take recourse to prostitution. In either case, you are a sinner. Now say, does the Bible allow for divorce under any circumstances? Yes. There are certain exceptions. Say, your spouse commits adultery. You may divorce your spouse if he or she is adulterous. May. Remember, you may divorce. There is no compulsion. It is not that your wife or your husband has committed adultery and instantly you should divorce him or her. Not that. That's not permitted. You should try some other means. By some other means, I mean what our Lord Jesus the Christ has repeatedly advised us, that is forgiveness. Forgive. Say your husband has committed adultery and you have come to know somehow. But it is very natural for you to react. You react, but do not choose the ultimate solution, and that is divorce. Forgive your husband. Forgive your wife. And try to change him or her. Is it so easy to change somebody? No, it's not an easy task at all. And I don't mean that it is easy. But walking down the spiritual path is not just a piece of cake. It is very difficult. And if you can walk that difficult path successfully and reach your destination, then you are the real victor. Now, how to change somebody? If you remain steadfastly chaste, if you remain pure, in spite of the fact that your wife is adulterous, you generate a lot of positive energy, spiritual energy. And as your spouse is in contact with you all the time, he or she is always exposed to the spiritual energy that radiates from you. And that spiritual energy or that positive energy brings about a radical change in the mindset of your spouse. And you see, one fine morning, your spouse apologizes to you and says that no more he or she is willing to walk that unholy path. And you see, he or she gets truly committed to you. That power you have. By you, I mean your spiritual steadfastness. Now, what is the general view? The general view is a little different because of impatience, intolerance. Modern people, especially people these days, don't have so much patience, don't have so much tolerance. If any issue is there, any sort of issue that may be a kind of petty quarrel, sometimes it is found that the wife and husband think of divorce, a mutual divorce. Why? They feel that they are not compatible. Because of this incompatibility, they want to separate. But it is not, of course, permissible. If this keeps happening, then our social fabric will crumble down. Think of the impact of divorce on both the partners. The worst impact of divorce is on the children. If you have a child and you decide to divorce your wife or husband, think of the future of their child. Think of the phrenological development of their child. His psychology or her psychology. The child needs the love and affection of both the partners, both the parents. It is not that if the child gets the maternal love, that's enough. Then our God, our Father, wouldn't have created two sexes. And you think of your own childhood. I think if you are not very unfortunate, you got the love and affection of both your parents. And now you have grown up to be a mature man or woman. So from your wise, mature angle, try to think of this burning issue of our society. Across the world, I'm not talking of in any particular country or any particular, community. Everywhere in this world, this particular problem is gnawing at the vitals of the social structure. So, we need more tolerance, we need more patience. Patience is bitter, but its fruit is sweet, always sweet. So if you want to taste the sweetness then you need to have patience. Patience will ultimately see you through. If you face any problem, you will be able to get rid of that problem or find a plausible solution to that problem if you have immense patience. And divorce is then a far cry for you. Listen, my dear friends, there must be quarrels, petty quarrels between the spouses. Not only today, in the past also it happened. Now it happens. In the future also it will be happening. Because two mindsets cannot be absolutely similar. So because of the dissimilarities in the mindset, tiffs, T-I-F-F, tiffs take place. Not squabbles, not a very noisy quarrel, very fatal, very deadly quarrel, not that. So the problem gets sorted out, resolved in course of time. So we should be a little more positive minded. We should take each other as gifts from God. Your wife is a gift to you. Your husband is a gift to you. So you should not destroy that gift. You should not abuse that gift, because that gift has come right from God, right from our Lord Jesus the Christ. You know, our Lord Jesus the Christ regards the church as his wife. And how committed he is to the church. We go to church in order to pray to our Lord Jesus the Christ. Why? Because we know that our Lord Jesus the Christ is always present in the church. The church is holy. His bride. So the general view, I think I have been able to give you to a certain extent. You also share the same society as I, and you must have your angle, your attitude, your thoughts. So please share your thoughts with me in the comment section and enrich me, enlighten me. I know many of you are wiser than I am. So I shall be looking forward to your comments in order to enrich myself, in order to enlighten myself. I think this time you will not disappoint me. Okay? I shall be talking on such subject matters. I mean, subject matters of momentous importance in the days to come. And I shall be looking forward to your comments as well. No more in this video session. See you again in the next video session. Now, my wait for your comments starts. Yes. Thank you very much. See you again in the next session. Bye-bye.